to win promotion. For now, let's head over to McMahon Stadium. Rod Smith, Matt Dunnigan.
Thank you, Kate. Great stadium, great city, and a great night for football here, Thursday Night Football. The home of the best in the West. Fans here are used to great football teams. Looks like they have another one to cheer for in 2018 so far. Stampeders 2-0. Ottawa Redblacks, though, Matty, off to a good start at 1-0, beating Saskatchewan last week.
Yeah, Trevor Harris, I think he's on the verge of becoming an elite quarterback. This guy absolutely is finding his groove. Game slowed down for him, and I believe in him. And I know his teammates do as well. This guy right here, that's Rambo Levi Mitchell, and he's dropped 28 pounds this offseason. I'm telling you, he is a different quarterback. He showed that a little bit last week and trying to scramble a little bit. Got to learn how to take care of the football, but boy, he was on target. Highest percentage completion ever in his career. We know all he does is win.
20 for 22 last week in that demolition of the Argos, and he was taken out late in the third quarter. And he didn't like it either, but nice and healthy now. Rene Paredes to get things started for Calgary. The Stamps won the toss. They deferred to the second half, and Ottawa wants the football. And Paredes will be hitting it downfield to Deontay Spencer or Luchez Purifoy to get Thursday Night Football underway for McMahon. And it is Spencer inside his 10-yard line. Charlie Power down there to slow him down, and he goes down across the 25. So in comes Trevor Harris, who had a very good week last week in that win over Saskatchewan, Matt.
Yeah, he really did. He only 6 reps during the preseason, suffered a knee injury in the first game, and also an ankle injury, as he told us yesterday. That was the biggest problem. And we'll have to look at that sometime throughout this ball game, but Trevor Harris really coming out of the gate strong.
They ran the football well. He got rid of the football quickly. Big keys against that Saskatchewan defense. They hardly laid a hand on him last week. Great pass rush that they have. Not one sack, and that was one of the more...
Legal substitution, 13 men in the huddle. Ottawa. It's 10-yard penalty. Wow. It's first down.
Noteworthy stats, but not a great start for this first possession.
I mean, you can't run the right amount out there in the first play of the game. Ooh, I hope that's not an indication what's to come. That's a little bit embarrassing.
And it certainly hurts on first down as they're down to their 15 on a 1st and 20 now for Trevor Harris. A little more room he has to work with now, and swings it off to the right to Deontay Spencer on that first down, and a gain of only 2 yards, so still second and long.
Yeah, Stampeders offense, Red Blacks offense, William Powell, absolutely terrific start. 94 yards and 24 yards in the air. Brad Sinopoli looking for his 4,000th season in a row. This kid, Evan Johnson, wet behind the ears, did a heck of a job last week against a tough Sask D-line.
So here we go, second down and long for Harris. Pump fake, pressure's on, and he gets it away. And that is complete, but not nearly enough. William Powell on the receiving end, and a good defensive play there by Seontae Evans. So it'll be third down, and the Red Blacks are going to have to punt.
Yeah, he comes from depth, and he beelines him, and boy, just nice job of just targeting, going low on William Powell, who is explosive as they come in the Canadian Football League. Really rounded out in form last year, late in the season. 6 games, well over 600 yards. Nice open field tackle on a dangerous receiver.
Richie Leone standing at his 5. Terry Williams, a return to punt, 102 yards last week against the Argos, is back to get it. And it rolls, and he will take it off a couple of hops after a 60-yard punt, and a flag goes down after a short return up across the 35 for Williams.
Inauspicious start for the Red Blacks.
Illegal block, Calgary number 11. 10-yard penalty, first down Calgary.
We got Troy Studemeyer for that one, Matty.
Can't say enough about this guy running on the field right now. Bo Levi Mitchell went from his worst completion percentage in his career to his best in 1 week. Kind of made a statement game against Toronto, kind of spit out a bad taste in his mouth that he's been chewing on for the last 6 months. Looked good on Bo Levi Mitchell.
Watch for Eric Rogers, number 15, had a big game last week. Don Jackson in the backfield, leading rusher in the Canadian Football League. And the handoff goes to Jackson, working to the left side. Kyrie Saber is there. The Red Blacks have him down shy of the 30-yard line.
Yeah. What can you say about DJ? Came out of nowhere. Basically, they really love this kid. He can do everything. Kamar Jordan, he's nothing but hustle. 6-year player, big playmaker for Bo Levi in that receiving core. Derek Dennis, really an off year last year for Saskatchewan. He comes back to Calgary, settled down nicely at left tackle.
2nd down and 5 after the gain by Jackson. And has the ball again, and the Red Blacks, Jonathan Rose, had a big game last week with a pick 6 against Saskatchewan coming up and putting Calgary into 3rd down situation after a very short gain.
Yeah, it's just an outstanding job of pursuit and coming up, forcing the edge here, coming right at you into your living room. This guy's got speed to burn, but nothing doing. Jonathan Rose says, not today. I got contained, and he did his job there.
Mentioned punt returns for touchdowns. The last time the Red Blacks were here last year, but this time Deontay Spencer took one all the way. Has it now as his 40 after a 38-yard punt, and he is tripped up after a return of 5. Not a good start for the Red Blacks offense, but they'll get another crack at it with much better field position this time around. Trevor Harris and the 1-0 Red Blacks set to go to work on offense on Thursday Night Football in Calgary. Thursday Night Football on TSN is presented by The Brick, saving you more.
Do you do ads for them now too, Rod?
Just here, just
okay.
now.
Okay.
Just on Thursday night. This is an exclusive, Matty. Young ones out. Join a game of football tonight. Early on, 0-0 second possession. Red Blacks faking the handoff to Powell. Wide open receiver. And Trevor Harris overthrew Deontay Spencer.
Set your feet, Trevor. Set your feet. Boy, you had him wide open. Did a nice job of looking to DBs down to the area outside underneath and just missed the corner over the top. I tell you, Calgary defense, boy, they're looking stout first couple weeks of the season.
And a flag came out. Sir Vincent Rogers was pleading his case. And I guess it's
conduct. Calgary number 4. Contact with an official.
Oh.
It's a 10-yard penalty. It's first down.
Micah Johnson called for objectionable conduct. See, Sir Vincent Rogers was in the mix as well. But
yeah, he's right here, number 4, Micah Johnson. And
so shoved the referee Tim Croker out of the way, and a flag comes out. So this time a penalty working Ottawa's way gets them right up to midfield with another play fake for Harris. And lots of time, and he had a receiver. It's Greg Ellingson, but it was off his fingertips, so it'll be 2nd down.
Had a mix-up on the backside. Let's take a look at the Stamp defense. You got Derek Wiggins in the middle, 4th-year Canadian mainstay in the middle with Micah Johnson locking it down. And right behind him, you got another national and Alex Singleton, MOP of the year last year with 123 tackles. And behind him, another national, Adam Berger, locking down the free safety position for the Calgary Stampeders. 3 nationals in the middle of that Calgary defense.
2nd and 10 after the incompletion for Ellingson. And the flags come out all over the place after the snap came late for Harris.
Procedure. Ottawa offensive line.
Oh, it's just
5-yard penalty and still 2nd down.
They can share the blame on that one.
Yeah. Makes those meetings tomorrow with the O-line coach a lot easier when everybody's taking accountability.
It did look even the way on Harris's reaction like he was expecting the ball sooner, and evidently the O-line was expecting it out.
I mean, the first couple of series here for both these football teams has been really ugly and very apprehensive at best.
So now a penalty against Ottawa makes it 2nd and 15, shy of midfield early on in this game on Thursday night. Harris under pressure gets it away and completes it to J.C. Beaulieu, the fullback, but not nearly enough as he gets it across midfield down to about the 51 of Calgary.
Yeah, and Alex is not going to let him run away from him. Watch him in space. Pockets collapse. Trevor's now stepping up in the pocket, looks to his right. He sees the ball thrown. He's got a good angle on him. The stumble out of the break didn't help. Well, dude, Alex Singleton, his 13th sack on the season already.
Terry Williams back to receive. So too is Troy Stoudemire now. So 2 back for Calgary in the Leone punt from his 50. And it heads Williams' way, and it heads out of bounds. So Leone and the Red Blacks hem the Stampeders in deep. Bo Levi Mitchell and the Calgary offense coming out. Scoreless game right now between the 2-0 Stampeders and the 1-0 Ottawa Redblacks. Battle of the unbeatens. Thursday night football to start week 3. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by the Nissan Titan, official vehicle of the CFL. Beautiful Alberta ranch country. Hey, the Stampede coming up too. Maddie, we've both been to that. That starts a week from tomorrow, July the 5th. Always a big feature in these parts this time of year. A great time. On first down, Bo Levi Mitchell, and he finds Eric Rogers, who was his favorite target last week in Toronto when he hauled in 5 catches for 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and this is not the type of catches that he was making last week. This is just a sit-down hitch with the man playing off. Just pitch and catch for Bo and Eric, 2 guys that absolutely have a rapport with one another. You often talk about that as a quarterback and a receiver, and when you have that special magic and just knowing where a guy's going to be, it is real easy to pitch and catch with somebody like that.
So it's 2nd and short, so the backup Nick Arbuckle, the short yardage quarterback, is in. Had a touchdown last week. And Zakarian easily off to his left gets the first down as the sticks move for the Stampeders.
And look, take a look at this Ottawa defense that last week just completely changed the line of scrimmage just about every snap. And it started with Avery Ellis. Avery Ellis, 2nd-year player from Temple. He had 2 sacks and 3 tackles last week. Kyrese Abear, the Angry Bird, coming over. The original Renegade is back with his defensive coordinator in the middle. And Jonathan Rose got the party started with a pick 6 and was off to the races from there for this defense.
Don Jackson behind Bo Levi Mitchell in the backfield. The handoff going to Jackson. As said, the leading rusher in the Canadian Football League 2 weeks in, with exactly 10 yards a carry heading into this game. 21 carries for 210 yards.
Yeah, I don't think he was comfortable with that exchange there with Bo Levi Mitchell, as he was kind of dancing around the hole, which we haven't seen. We've seen him exploit those holes and hit it up there like spitting out a watermelon seed. And he did not hit that hole properly and paid the price, minimal gain.
Gain of only 1, so 2nd and long. Mitchell. Only 2 incompletions last weekend in Toronto. Under pressure, flushed out, completes it to Tavares Daniels up across the 30, and very close to another Calgary first down.
A couple yards shy, it looks like, but Bo went to his right, and you'll watch him. Things are playing out in front of him. A good pocket protection. Nice job of coming off by Erdos, and it was Bo just kind of knowing where everybody's at on the football field, found his man, and just came up a little bit short.
About 2 yards short, so Maber will be in to punt again. It's Antoine Pruneau down for the Redblacks after that play.
Really nice pickup by Brad Erdos. Right guard for Calgary to give his quarterback time to find that receiver. And you got stunts like that, you know, you see that. You see that particularly with this unit. That's because Noel Thorpe, defensive coordinator, coming up from Montreal, has his boys playing wider angles, and watch this, how this happens and where they come from. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, looks like that was a fake.
We got a fake for Calgary, and a first down, very alertly done by Ante Milanovic, leader on that direct snap, and caught Ottawa napping. So this happened to the Red Black special teams last week against Saskatchewan. Calgary stays on the field on offense.
Yeah, you're looking at Mark Killam there in your picture, and he's the special teams coordinator, has been for a long time, well respected, well-timed fake, couple yards short, and moving the chains, keeping the drive alive for the Calgary Stampeders. Nice call by Mark Killam. Better execution by his boys out there in the field.
Last week in Ottawa, the Riders were down by a couple of touchdowns. They needed to try something out of their bag of tricks, and it worked. It got them a first down in that 23-point loss. Scoreless game. Calgary, the gamble that paid off, and Jackson with it, and working his way up closer to the 40 on that first down. Well, if it's the Red Blacks and the Stamps, if recent history is any judge, This could be a very close football game. It is so far, Matty. Look what has happened in the last 7 meetings. 4 have gone to overtime. Of course, the most famous being the 2016 Grey Cup in Toronto. But they tied 31-31 last year in the opener. It was a 4-point loss by Ottawa here last year. But look how close. Another tie, another close one in 2015. Nail biters. We don't have a point on the board yet right now. Setting up the screen to Jackson. He's got some room ahead, but a flag is down way back in the Calgary backfield. Looks to be coming back.
Looks like Spencer Wilson looks like he's maybe
Holding Calgary number 61.
No.
Got Ucombre Williams.
10-yard penalty.
Yeah, the center.
Still second down.
And in a screen pass, you got to figure, what are you doing holding? You're letting the guy go anyways. Just chip him and get out of the way. Right in the middle of your screen. You watch him, and this is a tough one because you got a good play call. As Kyrus Hebert, he just kind of grabbed his jersey and tugged him a little bit. Kyrus was I'll be playing it up a little bit, but well, that's a pretty tough call against the center, Montgomery Williams.
And that is AC Leonard. So another starting defensive player for the Red Blacks getting hurt on this possession by Calgary as Leonard looks to be in a lot of pain. We'll take a break. We will be back scoreless at McMahon on Thursday Night Football. One of the great features of Thursday Night Football, featuring a lot of entertaining music. And tonight, coming up at the half, you'll get to hear and watch the James Barker Band, a great young Canadian country band moving up. And we'll hear from them at the half here in McMahon in a scoreless game, and AC Leonard just being taken off the field. So 2 defensive players, Antoine Bruno as well, out of the game. Teague Sherman is in for him. On 2nd and 15, and a flag comes out right away for Mitchell over the middle, and he's got Juwan Breskison, and that's just shy of first down yardage pending the call of the penalty call here.
Looks like Josh Johnson got nicked on that play. He's down in the middle of the field now too. Stam linebacker, he's up. He's checking the body parts.
Offside, Calgary number 15. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
So they get Eric Rogers on that offside after a good gain of 14. It would add him just a 1 yard shy of another first down.
Real easy to see the top of the screen, short side. Receiver was about 5 yards offside, just completely mistimed his waggle, and it's an easy call, an unfortunate one. But right now, this first quarter is just 10 minutes in. It's not good football whatsoever.
Jonathan Newsom at the top of the line is in for the injured AC Leonard. Teague Sherman in for Antoine Pruneau. Terry Williams with his first carry on offense of the game.
Make your getaway with intelligent all-wheel drive in the 2018 Nissan Qashqai.
And the gain by Williams, 8 yards. So another punting situation. The last time in this situation, they did a direct snap to Milanovic leader, and it led to a first down. Expect Maver to be punting this one away, standing inside his 20. Back forward is Deontay Spencer, standing at his 30. Good high punt, a 47-yarder. And going nowhere. Taken down by the long snapper, Pierre-Luc Caron. 0-0, first quarter. Red Black Stampeders, Thursday night. Introduce. Scoreless game, first quarter here at McMahon. It's Thursday night, so that means we're pleased once again to be joined by Brody Lawson. I see you, Brody.
Hey guys, thanks so much. I'm up here hanging out in the Quick 6 stables. Now for $69 all season long, fans in Calgary can come. They get a beer, they get a burger, they get a seat cushion, and their ticket, of course, and they get to hang out with all of these cool people. Look at this amazing crew hanging out in Calgary for Thursday Night Football. Is this not the best seat in the house? Best seats in the house! They are loving it, guys. Just all part of making Thursday nights the place to be in the CFL. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Brody. Looks good enough that I don't expect you to leave there, actually. You might end up spending the rest of the game in some of the best seats of the house. I believe Mr. Dunnigan might go down there later on.
You think? Pull a hammy kind of get there.
Ottawa football after the punt by Calgary. Haven't been able to get very far into Stampeder territory. Just barely. William Powell. And a good gain. We saw more of this last week, Matty, against Saskatchewan. One of the keys to Ottawa was their ability to run the football. William Powell had a good night.
Nice job by the left guard, too, clearing away for Powell on that play. But Powell was absolutely amazing. Exactly what you want to do against a very athletic defense like Saskatchewan. Established a line of scrimmage, 94 yards on the ground, and another 24 in the air. And he's very productive inside the red zone. Scored a couple of touchdowns. Well, that Jamie Elizondo, offensive coordinator for the Red Blacks, had his unit humming last week against a very dominant defense week 1 against Toronto. I just believe that it wasn't so much that Saskatchewan played poorly. It was just the Ottawa Red Blacks offense was on fire.
Well, that was a gain of 8 for Powell. It's Brandon Smith, the elder statesman, if you will, of the Stampeders in his 11th year. More tenure than any other Calgary player who's shaken up and is slowly being escorted off the field. But
he had quite the week last week against Toronto. At 5 tackles, an interception, and a quarterback sack. He was busy as the elder statesman on that football field. I'm glad to see him walking off on his own accord. I'm just tired of seeing these players get injured in this first quarter.
We've seen a few of them, definitely.
Rod, that's why we only play 18, because it is a violent, physical sport.
It sure is. Second and short, 2 yards. Red Blacks in their own territory. And this is easy first down yardage and more. William Powell again, a big gain. 17 more yards for Powell. He has 25 in the last 2 carries, and that puts Ottawa closer to being in business across midfield in Calgary's territory at the 48.
Yeah, just locking the corner for the explosive back to hit it. Absolutely beautiful as Red Blacks going up, hurry up offense.
Working tempo is Trevor Harris. Back to Powell, why not? It's working. Just like last week, 3 straight big carries. William Powell, as the Red Blacks are venturing down into scoring position inside the 35.
Absolutely gorgeous stuff here by the center, Mateus and Corte, the left guard. Rookie making his second start, opening up a gaping hole for Powell to pop through.
They stay in tempo at the 32, faking it to Powell, and a ball right into the midst of Deontay Spencer, and it falls down to the turf, so second down.
I mean, you finally found a rhythm against a tough defense in the Calgary Stampeders. Place you had 1 if you're Trevor Harris, 4 attempts, and I tell you, you want everybody to be locked in, and stuff like that can just stymie momentum, forcing the second and long here. They
had a great second down offense last week against Saskatchewan, 1 for 3 on second down so far. So they are riding momentum of 3 big William Powell carries, but that drop by Spencer leaves him at second down and 10 at the Calgary 32. Harris back, has time, and another drop. This one Brad Sinopoli. So back-to-back drops. Good throws by Harris, but now they're in field goal situation.
Yeah, this is a great formation. I love the play call. You got 4 receivers to one side. Calgary's got it well defended, forcing Trevor Harris to throw the ball underneath to Brad Sinopoli, and Roberson absolutely right there, Johnny on the spot, forcing that ball to pop out.
So the first points of the game now. Good rest on the foot of rookie Lewis Ward for Ottawa. Ottawa U product, 3 for 4 last week in that Saskatchewan and that victory over the Riders. His longest was 44. He missed one from 48. This one easily within range, and we do have points on the board.
Nice. Look at that. It's Jeff right there. That's Ward. Homegrown product. Leone 6'3", Ward 5'7".
It's worked pretty well. There's Dave Dickenson in his 3rd year. Rick Campbell, they used to be on the same staff when Campbell was defensive coordinator for the Stampeders a few years ago, and obviously, you know, they met in the Grey Cup a couple of years. A lot of respect for each other. Rick Campbell, a lot of respect for Dave Dickenson.
Dave's a good dude. I get Dave. He's a good football coach, but also a good person, and kind of has a similar temperament, and we kind of believe in some similar things, and I believe he treats people the right way, and I think he's indicative of why Calgary's had so much success.
Well, a massive penalty against the Stampeders has pushed them back. a rough play call against Calgary. So with the football and 1st and 10, but they're now back at their 20. Faking that handoff.
Got it.
And down he goes, and it's too far for Eric Rogers, who looked to be open.
I didn't see a second gear there by Eric. He was in full flight, and Bo just overthrew him. You know, he's gone deep 19 times already in 2 games, and he just tries to feather this one in there and just misses his target. Those guys connected big time last week and made it look easy. Got a close relationship, those two. Eric Rogers coming back. Very comfortable with Bo Levi Mitchell.
You sure looked comfortable with him last week in Toronto. As mentioned, the 5 catches, 2 touchdowns. Calgary's 1 for 4 on 2nd down. 2nd down now and long. And a completed pass, but shy of a 1st down. So another punting situation for the Stampeders.
You know, Rod, just looking at Bo, trying to find his groove here in rhythm, tempo. It's been tough for him against the Noel Thorpe defense. And Noel Thorpe comes over from Montreal and is coaching up this defense. Got the boys fired up in lockdown mode and making it tough on Bo once again.
Well, Bo's had a lot of success, especially against the Eastern teams. Montreal gave him a bit of trouble, especially in Montreal. He's never won there. And Noel Thorpe, and the scheming he did, is doing now for Ottawa. A reason why, and that is caught right at midfield by Deontay Spencer. Friday Night Football continues tomorrow with a special live mic game. Quarterbacks and coaches for both the Blue Bombers and the Tiger Cats will be mic'd live throughout the entire broadcast. It's your chance to get inside the huddle and experience the game like never before. Action getting underway at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, right across the TSN network and in 4K. And following that, it's the BC Lions and the Edmonton Eskimos right up after that Winnipeg-Hamilton game. So doubleheader night on Friday Night Football. Ottawa football. 3-0 lead. Harris rolling to his left, looking for Ellickson, who he found 8 times, his top receiver last week against the Rough Riders. But boy, offense, Matty, in both of these sides, it's been a different story so far in this game.
Yeah, little old school sprint out. Skipped the comeback route to his #1 receiver, Craig Ellingson. Just a missed throw there by Trevor. Both these quarterbacks not finding the groove here in the first quarter. Got to settle down, relax a little bit.
The last time they met here, about a year ago, the final was 43-39. And it was tied at the half, but it was a high-scoring game. Much different story so far tonight at McMahon. 3-0 Ottawa. Harris under pressure, and Trevor Harris is sacked by Esa Marabare. Harris avoided a sack last week against Saskatchewan, and so far in this game, until that, the Stampeders finally get to him.
Yeah, Esa's right here, right? He's going to get on his horse, and he's going to make life miserable. Just swim moves to get out of my way. Says little Trevor Harris making his first quarter even less moves. Look at that dance.
Tell you, the defense across the board has been celebrating so far in this. A tight, low-scoring game, and a loss of 5 for the Red Blacks with Leone into punt. And I tell you, Calgary's getting a bit of heat on that Ottawa punter, too, as this goes down inside the 20, and it rolls out of bounds, so Terry Williams has no chance to pick it up.
Hey, it's pronounced S.M. Robbery.
And with that, we come to the end of a very low-scoring, tight, defensive first quarter. Only one team on the board with a 39-yard field goal, and that's Ottawa. The most important numbers after one quarter show that Ottawa's leading Calgary, but Matty, just look at these numbers. I'd say the defenses are leading the offense right now.
No question. Understandable, too, the way the Calgary Stampeders have played the first 2 regular season games, only allowing 21 points, 10.5 points a game. The Red Blacks shutting down a high-powered Saskatchewan receiving core last week. So kind of more of the same here in the first quarter, and the offenses have really struggled because the defenses are on point.
The defense that either offense has got is to the 32-yard line, and that was Ottawa, and aided and abetted by a penalty as well as we get set to start the second quarter now. And it was a 39-yard field goal by Lewis Ward of the Red Blacks, and the only points we have on the board right now. The opening night of Week 3 Thursday Night Football at McMahon, and 2 unbeaten teams now. Still playing it close. A 1st and 10, Bo Levi Mitchell at the 16 of Calgary. Airs it out again, and he was looking for Kamar Jordan there, but it falls incomplete once again, just a little too far.
Yeah, and there's just nothing there. I mean, yeah, he's pushing it out, ball down the field. Look at the depth. Look at the width of these defensive ends. Look how far out they're positioned. That is spatial awareness. This is what Noel Thorpe does. It really puts those guys on an even bigger island, if that's possible in the Canadian Football League, because it's making those guys protect a lot of space. And this is an angle and an edge that Noel Thorpe's defenses bring to the game.
1 for 5 in 2nd down is Calgary. Under pressure, stepping up, wobbly pass for Reggie Begelton, and it's high, and the coverage is there as well. Tyndall's there, Purifoy is there, and Ottawa's defense really standing up to Bo Levi Mitchell.
There's a look at Noel Thorpe, and he's having flashbacks right now with his defense playing really, really well, just like last week, and getting off the field. And well, talking to the guys last night over dinner, and a lot of these fellas are really loving what Noel Thorpe's bringing to the table, and they've all bought in, and it shows.
He's a key addition. So too Kyrie Zeber, Purifoy, Josh Johnson, Rico Murray, who had a big pick in the end zone last week. Deontay Spencer after a 46-yard punt by Rob Maver.
Oh, good idea.
And cozies up to midfield just about with the little heat coming down on him.
Jameer Thurman right there. You better get out. He's been pretty good, Rod. 7-1 his last 8 starts in the regular season, and I think this guy's ready to take the next step. He's facing a stout Calgary defense here tonight, and both these quarterbacks haven't found their groove, but this guy is on the cusp. He can make it happen, and when he's hot, he can light up anybody.
He sure can. They lost some close games early in the season when they started 1-6-1 in 2017, including a tie against well, they lost to Calgary about 4, and they opened the season with a tie. Talk about opening. Look at the opening for William Powell. Continues to run to daylight. He's having a terrific game. And he gets inside the Calgary 30. And if there's one thing Ottawa is doing well compared to last week too, is run the football. William Powell's having a night.
Yeah, and you watch the interior play here. You watch the interior play, and Thurman just kind of overruns it, and then you got him being pushed out of the way, and his outstanding jump cut by Powell, and then he does the rest. Great open field vision by William Powell.
Working tempo again. 4 carries, 67 yards, and a pass there for Austin Hartley, a product of the University of Calgary. So coming back to where he played his collegiate football, but that one falls incomplete.
Yeah, back to William Powell, and that is just nasty right there. And it's like he's got eyes in the back of his head and on the side, and he's just making people miss in open field. These are professional tacklers and hitters, and he's making them look silly right now in the opening part of this ballgame.
2nd down, Deontay Spencer out to the right. Harris looks over the middle, and he finds Greg Ellingson for his first catch of the day, and it gets down a gain of 12 and a 1st down close to the Calgary 15.
Yeah, and this is easy pitch and catch, and Trevor, this is really not a confident throw here. He kind of aims at one in there, and if he gets this ball up, I think Ellingson is able to get even more yak, and Trevor will find his group.
He had 8 catches for 104 yards last week against the Riders. Powell again, and this time Micah Johnson gets into the backfield, and he takes Powell down with a gain of only a yard.
Yeah, Country strong, just making it happen, saying not today. I'm tired of this. He's right here, and he's going to work his way, get his mitts on him. And once Micah Johnson, look at him break a double team. Basically shoestring there, not letting go. Couple strong dudes, Thurman and Micah Johnson, bringing down William Powell.
One of the top tackles in the CFL. Real strength in that Calgary middle defensively is Micah Johnson. We got movement all over the place now, and fingers being pointed. John Gott.
2nd and long situation becomes 2nd and longer.
They continue to point fingers.
Figure it out. You threw the flag. Tell Tim Croker what you call.
Procedure, Ottawa number 64. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
So Gott's the one that's doing the talking, but Evan Johnson, the right tackle, is the one that gets the flag, and they push him 5 yards back. For a 2nd and 14 now, Red Blacks pressing to score again. They have the only points of the game on a field goal by Lewis Ward, who may be coming on the field very soon if they don't get at least 14 yards on this play here for Harris, just outside the Calgary 20.
You pretty much got one-on-one matchups if you want it with both wide receivers. Pick and choose. Play pitch and catch. See what you got.
He's looking off to his left. He's looking into the end zone, and Deontay Evans is there, and Greg Ellingson, no shot at all for the Red Blacks, and Ward indeed will be coming on.
Well, we saw Hartley on a play earlier looking back into that sun, and I don't think Ellingson even knew the ball was coming to him, and he's looking back in the sun, never located it, and that ball just aimlessly drifts to the turf. And I don't think Greg and Trevor were on the same page, and I think the Sun kind of got both Hartley and Ellingson on that series.
His second field goal attempt, he was good from 39. This from 28 away and right down the middle. Lewis Ward is 2 for 2, and they need those field goals tonight. Defenses have been relentless. It's 6-0 Ottawa, second quarter, Thursday night. A tale of 2 fumbles concerning Kamar Jordan. Remember this? Few have forgotten when Calgary was leading by 8 and heading for more points. Jordan fumbled, and Cassius Vaughn returned it for a touchdown. The Argos tied it. They never looked back. Last week against the Argos, Bo Levi Mitchell fumbled. Ronnie Yell heading for pay dirt, and look at Jordan hustle, get back. And you know, the Argos didn't end up getting a single point out of that turnover. Different stories. We go to Jermaine Franklin.
Absolutely, Rod. You know, I asked Kamar Jordan if he had memories of the Grey Cup during that moment, and he said no, not at all. But obviously, like you said, it was a huge play, and the fact that he came back to the sideline, that's when the irony dawned on him. The fact it was the same team he was up against, similar plays. He prevented a touchdown when they were only up by 10. Now, Bo Levi Mitchell was the guy who fumbled the ball, and he ended up earning player of the game. He gave that award right to Kamar Jordan, thanking him for saving his butt. He also said that was one of the best football plays he'd ever seen, simply because Kamar Jordan was so unselfish. And the other thing Mitchell said was the fact that Kamar Jordan showed how much he cared about his teammates in that play.
Rod, I can tell you, talking to that young man over the last couple of days, Kamar Jordan, I wouldn't change a thing about him. I think it was more of a hustle play last year in the Grey Cup by Cleon Lang than it was an effort play by that young man, Kamar Jordan. I wouldn't change a thing about it.
Reggie Begelton on the receiving end, and 1st and 10. The Stampeders, after the Williams return, scrimmaging from their 33, and a good gain close to first down yardage. It is indeed a 10-yard pickup for Begelton. And first downs have been in short supply lately for Mitchell and the Stampeders, still with no points on the board.
I'm a big fan of Reggie Begelton, really am. He caught my eye last year, and I'm watching him close this year, and I like what I see so far.
First and 10, throwing again, and that was for Jordan, but it falls down incomplete.
Beautiful night here, Rod, for a little football, a little smackdown.
Little barbecue before heading in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go out there and teach some of them folks how to do that.
Well, I know you could.
Yeah. Watching that guy's technique with them burgers is top of the show. I'm going, what are you doing?
So you were not approving, okay.
No. I'll go taste test.
2nd and 10, Calgary 43. As the play clock was winding down there, and Mitchell throwing, and once again it goes way over the head of Eric Rogers, and good coverage there by Rico Murray of the Red Blacks.
Yeah, this is a play before 1st and 10, and you know, not only do you have to tote the rock, but you have to be able to block, and watch this young man step up in the hole and say, no, not on my watch. This is why the coaches like him, because he'll stick his nose in there and protect Bo Levi Mitchell.
Well, this is a very different story for the Calgary offense compared to 41 points on the board last week. Their 5th straight punt, and it is a beauty by Maver, chasing Spencer inside his 10.
Would you expect anything less? Rob Maver is money. That guy is instant field position. 13 9 times last year he went inside the 10 with punts.
Great average, great net average. Maver, that's a 60-yarder. The Hem Ottawa deep. Thursday Night Football presented by The Brick. It is Thursday Night Football presented by The Brick, and there's a look at the James Barker Band. They'll be performing at the half, and opportunity for fans to get some autographs, chat with them. And looking forward to hearing the great Canadian country band, Matty, and we had some good entertainment in Ottawa with Elijah Woods and Jamie Fine last week. But looking forward to hearing the James Barker Band coming up at the half. Still got over 9 minutes to play in this half, though, and Ottawa football, an Ottawa lead. And Trevor Harris, another drop off the hands of Greg Ellingson. We have seen some drop balls by Ottawa receivers in this game.
Yeah, and, you know, you expect him to catch a ball. You expect that to be better placed, though, by Trevor. And both these offenses, obviously, with the score, you look at it, they're struggling. It's his defenses are flexing their muscles, and these quarterbacks will figure it out.
Drops have been by the big 3-2. Ellingson, Sinopoli, Deontay Spencer dropped one. They each had over 100 yards receiving the last time the Red Blacks played here a year ago. That's batted at the line. Intercepted Micah Johnson. Big pressure by the Stamps. And now they are in business as Calgary takes over inside the 20-yard line.
Yeah, they're coming off the edge here, and they're bringing some heat. And you're going to see Singleton here, and you're going to see people come. And Michael Johnson is going to get the rebound. This gives me nightmares flashing back to the Grey Cup in '88. That ball going up in the air, and the D lineman coming down with it. This time it's Micah Johnson, first interception in his career, the way I see it. And he puts his offense right in scoring position. Red zone time. Bo Levi's got to put this in.
The deepest their offense has gone in Ottawa territory this game by far, set up by the defense. As Mitchell looks off, has Rogers, cuts back inside once and twice and gets closer to the goal line. It'll be first and goal Stampeders after a good run after the catch by Rogers.
You know, Bo Levi Mitchell's dealing with a bump shoulder last year. He's dropped a lot of weight. He's really concentrated. Watch Rogers, he's going to step up here and he's going to sit down out here. Bo Levi's going to fire a strike there. Watch him just zip it. Zip. Nice. Nicely timed. And then the rest is Eric Rogers. Using that lanky body, almost getting in the end zone.
Leading receiver in the CFL in 2015. Big part of their Grey Cup run in 2014. And then he went to the NFL. And he hasn't played in a while. Had an ACL injury that kept him out of all 2016 with San Francisco. And back with the Stampeders. And he looks very much at home, don't you think?
Yeah, he does. Made Rico Murray look very uncomfortable at home. That was ugly. Got another man down, Rod.
Jonathan Rose, I'm told, is the player down for the Red Blacks, who've seen a number of injuries on defense. Antoine Pruneau is back in the game. Earlier, A.C. Leonard was hurt. As Rose does get up.
Pitching and catching last week, Rod. Eric Rogers and Bo Levi Mitchell were having their way at BMO Field, just making it look easy. Bottom of the screen there, fantasy points. If you had Rogers, you had a good week.
With the 2 touchdowns, 5 big catches.
What do you think? Gonna give it? Gonna run it?
Running situation. Ball spotted between the 2 and 3 and first and goal. Mitchell.
Nope.
Faking the handoff to Jackson, looking to the end zone, and right down, a flag is down.
I think that's going to be offensive. I think the offensive man pushed out from just by looking at it, just with the angle that we had. And we'll see. Yeah, that's going to be offensive pass interference. He pushes off from him kind of like you would in a pick and roll. You can watch it right there. Dave's looking on. It's the offensive pass interference. It's a big break for the Red Blacks.
On Davaris Daniels on the receiving end there.
Yeah, he's right here. And
illegal interference blocking downfield. Calgary number 50. It's a 10-yard penalty.
What?
It's still first down.
So no.
Well, that wasn't the call.
It was the right tackle Spencer Wilson. Illegal man downfield.
We'll find it for you. Spencer shaking his head. So, all right, I'll take that one.
So first and goal still, even though the ball is now out at the 12. Whistle blows with the snap of the ball.
Oh, man. More slapstick here.
Offside, Calgary number 15. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Yeah, here's Spencer here in that last play. He's right here on the top of the line. Watch him. He's just doing his job. He's owning that guy. I mean, where's the call there? I don't get that call. He's doing his job there, finishing the play. If anything, it was offensive PI. And I don't know where they came up with that call.
Bottom line, 7 penalties now for the Stampeders, really hurting them. Second penalty of this game for Eric Rogers, called him the offside. So still first and goal, but they're moving the other way. They're at Ottawa 17 now. Needing something big to get in the end zone. Maybe here with Daniels. Straight arms his man there, Josh Johnson. He gets a little bit closer, but second down now after a gain of 11.
That was nice. I mean, this is manageable now, right? You think with a little bit of motion, you can run a little pick, little rub, something. There it is, make something happen. Nice job by Bo extending the play there. He started to scramble to his right and get outside of the contain, saw that wasn't going to happen, stopped and found Daniels underneath for a big gain.
Call it a gain of 12. So second and goal at the 5. Mitchell looking to his right. Touchdown, Eric Rogers.
That's the way to find the hole. That's the way to find the zone. Boy, they needed that. All off of Micah Johnson, turnover. Capitalize on it. Outstanding job. Just a clearing route with Rogers coming underneath. Bo Levi Mitchell looking there the whole time. Fires a strike to his favorite target, Eric Rogers. Welcome back to Calgary.
Yeah, he's definitely welcome back for Stampeders fans. I mean, he had 1 catch for 13 yards in game 1 against Hamilton, then burst out last week, as mentioned, with 5 catches, well over 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. So he has 3 touchdowns now in 2 weeks for the Stampeders, and much needed. They're not coming easily for either offense here. First touchdown of the game, and this gives the Stampeders the lead on Thursday Night Football in the first half, presented by The Break.
Join us on July 21st for our Fan Appreciation Game, presented by Purolator. Get your tickets today at stampeders.com.
5-play, just 17-yard drive. That's all the Stamps needed after the turnover. Bo Levi Mitchell, Matty Day, Eric Rogers.
Yeah, you got to love it. It's easy pitch and catch. Get used to it. Yeah, defense is on their heels all year long with that combination. Open up all the other Stamp receivers as well.
Luchez Purifoy on the return after fumbling the ball on the kickoff and gets it up across the 30.
Yeah, real simple pitch and catch here. Easy philosophy here to execute. You're going to have just clearing underneath here. Kamar Jordan's going to take 2 as these guys fall back on him, and Rogers going to come right underneath. Bo lets it develop. Clear the underneath. Take the 2 off the top. Easy pitch and catch. Put the ball in the end zone. They need that.
Ottawa has been able to move the ball primarily on the ground with William Powell. Brendan Glanders in the backfield now, taking the handoff to him, and Harris just dumps it off.
He almost threw that to Micah Johnson
Dangerous
again.
pass. It looked like Johnson was in the mix again.
He was. I think he had snuffed out the screen, and it was a bubble screen to the field, and he wanted to come back to his left and throw a screen. And Micah Johnson, he's right here. He's the big boy right here. Country Strong is going to handle it, and I think he sees this. He read that. He read that before the play was even snapped. He read that by formation and down and distance and where they were on the field. That's just great preparation.
Harris completes it to Ellingson. Not nearly enough for a first down, though. It gets to about the 35 on that gain of 5 for Ottawa, but they stall again, and they're going to be punting.
Rod, just going back to drive this point home. Watch the drop here by him, and watch him here. Micah Johnson sees that drop, and he says, no, not today. I got contained here. I know what's coming. He doesn't buy all this stuff. He just reads that drop and flies out there.
And the reception by Ellingson there, of course. the play after that. And just inside the 25, Richie Leone punting this one away. Taking it is Terry Williams after a 57-yard punt by Leone, and late there is Andrew Marshall making sure that Williams is down. And Calgary football again, their possession now with a much longer field for Bo Levi Mitchell to work with after that 17-yard drive for the touchdown.
Plenty of time. They'll have 2 or 3 more possessions before the half here. But yeah, I was trying to explain to you folks, I apologize there. I was trying to show you a little Michael Johnson, how his preparation before even stepping on the field put him in a good position to make that play on the series before. And
well, he's certainly been effective. I mean, before that, had the interception, and the ball was batted at the line in Trevor Harris. So Calgary's D-line, defense in general, swinging it out there. That's Kamar Jordan on the receiving end, and good yardage after the catch as well. Up near 10 yards, and looks to be a first down for Calgary, awfully close.
I asked him yesterday what he worked on in the offseason, and he said he worked on ball security, and based on what happened to Grey Cup, and his quickness. He felt like he needed to work on his explosiveness out of cuts and whatnot, because he's a lanky 6'3" receiver. Want to become more explosive, we got to look at it right there. Calgary
stays in tempo now. It is indeed a first down, and a hand got up on that pass going across for Durant. It wasn't touched, but it falls incomplete now, second down.
In case of the drops, it's here Bo Levi throwing off his back foot, throws a nice ball, spots it nicely for Durant. Back in the mix this week after being on the IR. Can't squeeze that one. A lot of dropsies here in the first half.
Stampeders, despite scoring a touchdown, that was with a 17-yard field to work with. They're 2 for 8 in second down situations. We get a 2nd and 10 now, so this offense has been sputtering too. There's a big catch for, yeah, you know who, Eric Rogers across midfield, and make it 3 for 9 in conversions, because that's a first down Calgary.
Like an extended handoff here on a dig route. Bo Levi just sticks it on the 1 and the 5. He's right here. He's going to run a dig or a 7 route coming across the middle. Gets in behind the depth of the linebacker. Easy pitch and catch.
And that's 4 catches now for Rogers. He is starting to warm up. Has the touchdown, the only one in this game.
You got him on your fantasy, Rod?
I have to check. Actually, I think I did. Wait a minute.
Oh, you sounded pretty excited.
Well,
about that.
I did them late. I always forget.
Just cracked there, Rodney.
I know. Well, I've got a red black too.
Got it.
And there's Rogers. I tell you, whoever has him in fantasy is starting to warm up as well as we get down to 3 minutes. Tell you who else is warming up. James Barker Band. They're playing at the half, and we're 3 minutes away here at McMahon Stadium.
Coming up at the half, we're waiting for a big play, so we have decided to make our own big play in the studio. That had some sizzle to it there. And don't forget, of course, the James Barker Band. They are live at the hat. Hit me, Milt. Right now.
Fun in the studio, fun at McMahon. Thank you, Kate. Thursday Night Football presented by The Brick, and it's a close game. 7-6 Stampeders lead in the Eric Rogers touchdown, and they have time. 2:21 in the clock until halftime, and they're on the move. The offense is finally really warming up. Juwan Brescacin. Now he's got a catch, and he's down near the 30. So after scoring a touchdown when they started in the Ottawa 17, this is a much more impressive drive for this Calgary offense.
Yeah, Brescacin week 1. He's got that running catch of the year so far. That was a sweet one-hander. The Rogers show continues to take flight here. Brescacin wants a little action. I believe he's coming underneath, going to run all the way across the field. Bo's going to give it to him on a little underneath route. Little bang route over the top. You got a choice there. If that linebacker would have went with the underneath, he would have sat right in the hole, but he didn't. So Bo just checked it down to Brescacin and picked up 8.
Tell you, this has been a rough first half physically for the Ottawa Redblacks defense. As good as they've been, another player is down. It's Jonathan Newsom, who came into the game when AC Leonard got hurt. Earlier, Antoine Pruneau was hurt. He came back into the game. One of several Redblacks defenders in. Andrew Marshall is in for Ottawa's defense now, too. So, yes, Noel Thorpe has a lot to work with, a lot of versatility with the personnel changes and him coming over, but they're certainly being tested. Their depth is, Matty, tonight.
Yeah, they are, and that's tough. He looks all right. In that last play, I can tell you that, real simple read for Bo Levi Mitchell, and they're just isoing one guy, which you often do. Just watch this linebacker right here as he's got somebody crossing his face. There's a man crossing his face, right coming across here. Then he's got a guy banging out here. Bo's reading him. He stays with the bang route, so just give it to the underneath. That's a real simple read for a quarterback. That's what he's looking on that particular play there. 1st and 10, get you 8, put you in 2nd and manageable. Now you're rolling.
So a 2nd and short as Newsome goes off. The 4th Red Blacks defender to be injured in this first half. And Calgary's on the move. Ball up at the Ottawa 31. Defense has really dominated this first half. Perhaps that's about to change. It wasn't this way last week in Toronto. Calgary's offense was like it was shot out of a cannon. Scoring points in the first couple of possessions, going on to win 41-7 over the Argos. There's a lot deep. Don Jackson close down near the goal line, incomplete. And somebody was calling for an illegal contact penalty.
Yeah, I think so. Jackson comes out of the backfield and runs a little wheel route. Bo just kind of lifts it just a little too far inside, and DJ can't locate it and get to it. Like the thought process, be aggressive. They're going to keep Bo out there and go for this on 3rd down.
1:50 on the clock till halftime. Stampeders with a 1-point lead at Ottawa's 31. This is 3rd down. 3 yards to go. Very interesting call for Dave Dickenson. As Mitchell throws, it falls incomplete, and the Stampeders turn over the ball on downs.
Yeah, Bo Levi Mitchell was late with the ball. I'm watching the route unfold. They're sitting down, as we saw in the first quarter. One of the first passes he completed in the sit-down route, and there was no chance because the ball was out late. And I think it was just that stumble there, the look left and right, and the ball's late. He's trying to find Kamar Jordan sitting there, and he was actually triple covered. Turnover on downs.
So realizing this is with 20/20 hindsight, you've got one of the most accurate kickers in the history of the game, and what would have been a 38-yarder in a very low-scoring 1-point game. So it certainly looks like the Stamps take 3 points off the board. But
I like the thinking, though. I do like the thinking.
As I say, 20/20 hindsight. Had he made it, we'd be praising the genius of it. Life of a coach. Life of William Powell is pretty good, although I'm not sure how he feels about being hit by Alex Singleton that way.
Yeah, he's tired of seeing him fake out his buddies, and he came over there. Watch this. This is absolutely phenomenal job up front by the entire offensive line, and William Powell's a beneficiary. Just wash it down, jump cut to the outside, 14 yards, another move out here, and then here comes Singleton. I'm tired of this. Wow.
So Powell again, and short yardage this time. No gain.
Play before. Oh, here comes Singleton coming down. Just absolutely phenomenal football player. Love to watch that kid roam the field.
Excuse me, gain of 5 for Ottawa, so 2nd down and 5. And over the middle, and the ball is dropped again. J.C. Beaulieu. We have a flag down in the field, but yet another drop for a Red Blacks receiver.
It's illegal contact.
Illegal contact on a receiver. Calgary, number 28. It's a 10-yard penalty, and it's 1st down.
Veteran Brendan Smith is called for illegal contact now, so good for Ottawa as they get across midfield, and they have a 1st down at the Calgary 51 as we get closer to halftime. 1:17 on the clock here at McMahon Stadium.
Red Blacks caught a break there. Quarterback receiver couldn't connect. Got some help. Stamps defense.
Harris and the Red Blacks trying to answer and take the lead into the locker room at the half, and that one a bit of a cross up in behind Greg Ellingson, who looked to be the intended receiver but way behind, and so cross up there, 2nd down.
Yeah, he's got perfect vision. I don't know where he's throwing a football. He thinks he's got somebody there in a check down, and he's not there. The last couple plays have not looked in sync for the Red Black offense, who was on fire last week, have yet to find their rhythm here.
Offenses haven't really warmed up. James Barker Band is, though, and ready to go at the half. We're coming up to it. Second down and 10, Harris. That one's a good catch by William Powell. The best offensive weapon the Red Blacks have had in this half, to be sure.
Yeah, no question, but the defense, Stampeders defense, going to give that to him all day long and rally on Powell. That's a heck of a catch on his fingertip. I mean, that's just sticky fingers right there. William Powell doing it all here in the first half for the Red Blacks. Devon Claybrooks really just a mastermind and plug and play with his defensive personnel. Lost some vital people on the back end. Lost one of arguably the best rush end in the league.
So now Ottawa goes on third down. 3rd and 4.
I love it.
Late in the half.
Nothing.
No, just like for the Stampeders, although this would have been a much tougher field goal to get.
Yeah, but I love the thought process. Tit for tat, and both quarterbacks very, very apprehensive on those third down throws. First, Bo Levi Mitchell throwing the ball errantly, and then Trevor Harris not being on the same page with the quick slant and just tight coverage by Roberson on the corner.
Challenge flag coming out for Rick Campbell on that play.
He thinks Roberson got there early. But I think he was playing, I think he ran the route for the receiver. I think he had every right to cut in front of him because he had better position.
Ottawa's challenging a play for defensive pass interference on their number 88. The play will be reviewed.
Yeah, he's right here, and he's going to come right in here, and you're going to see Roberson just come right over the top of him, and the timing is going to be pretty good. It's just depending on how you see it. He never took the bait. He never took the outside stick by Sinopoli, and therefore he had good inside position and actually better position than the receiver on the play. Solid protection up front, maybe a little firmer with your right guard to give Harris a little bit more time and vision to see. Plenty of space there for him. Yeah, I think Ottawa may get the call here because Roberson did initiate contact, but he was in front of the receiver.
A big call it would be for Ottawa, too, with under a minute to play, trailing
After
by
review,
a point.
the ruling on the field stands. Ottawa, by losing a challenge, has lost a timeout. First down, Calgary.
Well, I like the thought process. Defense is right once again bowing their necks here in the first half.
These teams exchange turnovers on downs here in the final minute or two of this first half. So
plenty of time to go work here. 51 seconds.
That sure is. 45-yard line for Bo Levi Mitchell in that Calgary offense.
That's what you live for. 2-3 formation right in the middle of the football field.
Pressure on Mitchell. Just dumps it off.
Dave Dickens, the head coach for the Stampeders, is screaming at the officials. They tackled the intended receiver on that, and the inside screen didn't get the call. You have to just watch DJ right here. Watch him the whole way. He just gets run over. Wow. Just one way to take him out of the picture.
Gabriel is coming in on that one. So pressure again. They flush him out, and he has to throw that incomplete. Jackson was the closest receiver, and a 3rd and 10, and still a little bit of time now.
You just got tippy hat to that Red-Black defense, man. He's twisting and stunting and hitting penetration and flushing Bo, and we've seen that several times. Him wanting to and forced to flush out of the pocket and check down and can't locate his receiver quick enough. And Michael Klaus coming home, making it happen.
43 seconds left, so a slow ending to a very defensive, low-scoring half of football here at McMahon Stadium. Maber. Another big punt. 4th 2 and out fourth 2 and out for Calgary's offense in that first half. Spencer on the return and not getting much after a 42-yard punt.
Hey, man, y'all gonna have to beat me there. I promise you that. Y'all gonna have to beat me with that play. Hey, he dropped it. He dropped it. He dropped it. He dropped it. From now on, he don't got no name. His name 89. That's his name. Number 89.
From mic'd up players to behind the scenes action, CFL Wired brings you the latest CFL football highlights. Catch it Thursday, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on TSN 3 and TSN 5. Little time left in the half. Harris throwing. Coverage right there on Spencer.
We heard Deontay Spencer in that live mic, or CFL Wired. What a treat that was to watch him and Durant Carter go at it last week. It's good football.
Well, they both had reason for trash talking, of course. Carter with the pick 6 and Spencer with the touchdown, beating Carter later on.
This could be big.
Deontay Evans there. He was in on the previous play. Ellingson giving him a little shove.
Yeah, corner. Nice job. Just dropping off. Deontay Evans just dropped off underneath coverage, and that ball was thrown on target. It was going the other way. Calgary defense once again in the playbook of Jamie Elizondo.
Third 2 and out for the Red Blacks. 16 seconds left in the clock. Boy, it's taken a while to play this final minute. Offenses are struggling.
It's a good old CFL.
It is. James Barker Band ready to go here at McMahon. At the half. Another punt. Punters have been busy. Richie Leone.
This 243-yard total offense combined for both teams in the first half.
Terry Williams on the return. And they have one play to go by the looks of things with 5 seconds on the clock. Back deep in their territory. We're just a little over the 30. One touchdown in this game, Bo Levi Mitchell. Derek Rogers, couple of field goals by Lewis Ward. But that's your story right now.
Just get on your horse and see what you got, Bo Levi Mitchell. See how far you can throw it and let her fly.
You're not one to take a knee, are you?
No, you kidding me? Take a shot. They're taking a knee.
They're taking a knee.
Damn.
We'll tell you this much. It's not nearly as high scoring as we're used to between these two, but we're consistently close when we talk about the Red Blacks and Stamps. One more play. There you go. Halftime in the books. And a 1-point game. Stampeders. The band's getting ready. The James Barker Band at Thursday Night Football presented by the second half. The Red Blacks and the Stampeders. Rod Smith, Matt Dunnigan, Jermaine Franklin, Brody Lawson here at McMahon Stadium. Great view of the ski jump there, and great view of Eric Rogers again doing his thing, Matt, in the first half.
Yeah, he was. A little over halfway to 100 yards, and he was Bo Levi Mitchell's favorite target in the first half. Not a lot of offense production, but when it happened, it was 1-5, usually at the end of the passes from Bo Levi Mitchell, and was productive once again in the Calgary Stampeder uniform.
Rogers with the touchdown reception. That was after a turnover. Micah Johnson with an interception that set them up with a short field, 17 yards. 5 plays later, they were in. The only touchdown of this game. Hello there. Stampeder fans seeing their team leading by 1 heading into the dressing room, and Calgary deferred, so they get the ball in the second half as this half begins now and into the hands of Terry Williams down at his 6. And hit hard. Jean-Philippe Bolduc and Andrew Marshall in there taking Williams down.
Just kind of put this in perspective. That young man running on the football field right there in his first 26 CFL games, he scored 20 touchdowns. The great Milt Stegall, who leads everybody in the Canadian Football League with 147 touchdowns, had 14 in that same time span. Now, do I think he's going to catch Milt? No. He's off to a pretty good start.
He'd need a lot more years, but the pace he's going at now since he came back, 3 touchdowns in 2 games, and a good gain there for Don Jackson, who had a quieter first half with 4 carries for 13 yards, so a good gain there for Jackson.
Yeah, you know, you go head-to-head with William Powell, and he's getting dusted by William Powell in the first half, but this is a good start to the second half, and he just follows Spencer out and around, and he's moving to Powell.
So a first down, Stampeders' best run of the night for Don Jackson, a gain of 11 yards. He stays in the game to the left of Mitchell, who had a pretty quiet first half at 11 and 21, 110 yards passing and that touchdown. Jackson again, like William Powell in the first half, and back-to-back carries and another good carry for Jackson, the Stampeders running back.
Yeah, I heard Kate in the studio pregame talking about this guy and what he's done in the first 2 games, averaging 10 yards a carry. Super explosive. You put him with Terry Williams in a completely different combination of running backs for the Calgary Stampeders in 2018 as opposed to Finch and Messam last year. You got 2 extremely explosive, quick scat backs.
So in the short yardage situation, after another good gain by Jackson, they only needed 1. But Calgary continues to be on the move, and that's after a half where both offenses were struggling for periods of time. A lot of 2 and outs.
Let the big boys play and see if they can't start controlling the line of scrimmage, because in the first half, you got to give credit to the Red Blacks defensive line, just like in their first game, week 2 of the season against Saskatchewan last week. They actually collapsed that pocket just about every time. Caleros and Brandon Bridge dropped back and really forced the issue. Did a nice job of it, but the Calgary's fighting back.
Ball across the Calgary 46, off to the side, swinging it out for Kamar Jordan on first down. And moves to the outside and gets pretty good yardage after the catch for another Stampeder first down.
Some of that off-season training working on his quickness and his explosiveness and his feet, because he says I'm long and I take long strides, and that's something he concentrated on. So little quick hit screen, fired it out there in space. Got to make the first guy miss. Does a nice job of that. It's a nice no block out front, so don't want to get a clip and negate the penalty by Breskison, and he's off to the races.
He had 4 catches for 77 yards against Hamilton in week 1 and a touchdown too. And grinding it out is Jackson.
Yeah, that was just in the hole. That was him making something happen, because when he was met in the hole, and he's kind of coming up a little limp here, but you watch him in the hole, he's going to make a move right there. Says no. And then he runs into contact and he comes out banged up. So we'll see Terry Williams the next series here.
7 more for Jackson, and this is a very different story for the Calgary offense that had 4 2-and-outs in the first half, really struggling to move the football for much of that 30-minute period.
Wow. Wow, that's an unfortunate use of the timeout there. And didn't have the right personnel in there.
The Red Blacks had already cost themselves a timeout with a failed challenge by Rick Campbell late in the half.
Yeah, I saw Charlie Power come off the field, and it looked like Mark Jordan went onto the football field. So wrong personnel grouping cost them to burn a timeout here early in this third quarter. Rick Campbell will take that.
The only head coach the Red Blacks have ever had. And it just so happens that his most shining moment as a head coach came against the team that he's up against tonight, the Calgary Stampeders in the Grey Cup 2 years ago. Second down and 3. Mitchell looking longer, intercepted. It is Rico Murray with his second interception of the season. He had one off the Saskatchewan Roughriders last week in the end zone that snuffed out some momentum, and they certainly have done that to Calgary's offense here. Rico Murray goes up on that 2nd and 3. And the Red Blacks have a pick. Thursday Night Football presented by the Brick. The 2018 FIFA World Cup knockout stage begins Saturday with the first of 2 round of 16 matches as France takes on Argentina. You can catch the action at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific across the TSN network on CTV, and also Round of 16, Uruguay and Portugal. That's at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, and TSN's 1, 4, and 5, and on CTV. After the interception by Rico Murray, it's Ottawa football, and there is by far the most productive part of that Red-Black offense so far. Rico Murray
got his 12th career interception. Really easy one for him as he's just running a little corner route here. And you watch Bo Levi Mitchell. Watch the receiver when he makes his move. There's his stick right there. Ball's got to be out. Bo's late getting to him, and Rico Murray undercuts it. Gets his 12th of his career. That's an easy play for Rico Murray. Johnny on the spot.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard gain by Powell. A first down. Greg Ellingson on the receiving end there. So Trevor Harris and the Red Blacks on the move when they had only 124 yards total, net yards in that first half.
Yeah, defense dominated. You got to tip your hat to those guys. They get paid too. I found it interesting. Devon Claybrooks, defensive coordinator for the Calgary Stampeders, was sitting on the bench taking in that little halftime entertainment for the James Barker Band.
William Powell again. Mentioned the 124-yard net yards for the Red Blacks in the first half. Powell accounted for 87 of that. And a tough half in the air for Harris, who was just 7 for 20 and 42 yards.
That's crazy. That's shutting down a guy that was on fire last week.
Harris's rushing total up to 97 now. He flirted with 100. He had 94 last week against the Rough Riders.
You talking about Williams?
Or excuse me, William Powell, not
yep.
Harris. Thank you. William Powell, big part of it. Ellingson was a big part last week. He had 8 catches and heating up now in the second half with another catch there.
This is a tough way to pick up 6 or 7 here. Timing throw, very calm. Ellingson on his break, got the depth needed. And here comes the posse inside out, get out of bounds, move the sticks. Trevor checking at the line of scrimmage, Rod.
4th catch for Greg Ellingson. First down Ottawa. There's William Powell. And looks to be just over 100 yards rushing, although he was met there. Jagarrett Davis.
Jagarrett Davis came hunting for him that time. Little counter, a couple people in front. Watch Jagarrett Davis come from the opposite side of the field. A little rib fest going on.
A red and white wall, but not before a gain of 4, so that does put him over 100 yards. William Powell, right at 100. And right near midfield is Harris. And a deep ball here, but good coverage. Trey Roberson there on Greg Ellingson, nothing doing, falls incomplete.
Ideal coverage by Trey Roberson. Phenomenal job by him, just running the route, staying high, and really walling off any chance for Ellingson to try to come underneath and make a play. He blanketed him.
Sorry, Matty, he wears 31. He is a very famous grandpa in the CFL. Larry Highbaugh, the late Larry Highbaugh, passed away last year. Wore the number 13 for the Edmonton Eskimos, a Hall of Famer. So interesting to see it in the family 2 generations later with Roberson.
Yeah, watch him play the corner, you just get flashbacks. Watching Larry do his thing. Had the pleasure of playing with him my first year in the league.
Terry Williams lets that roll into the end zone, and a single point for the Ottawa Red Blacks. Richie Leone, and now we got a tie game. Back in the brick, Thursday Night Football, we enjoyed the halftime entertainment from the James Barker Band. Let's go to Brody Lawson.
Hey, thanks so much, guys. I'm here with the James Barker Band. First of all, you guys crushed it at halftime. Everyone was loving it. Talk to me about the atmosphere here for Thursday Night Football and what it was like to play in front of this awesome crowd.
Everybody was pretty fired up. It was amazing. I mean, Calgary's a country crowd, and so they were super fired up. And I mean, we feed off the energy, so we loved it, and the rain held out.
You guys won the Country Album of the Year, the Juno Award this year. What an honor, how exciting. And talk a little bit about this trajectory you're on.
I think it's still surreal. I think none of us ever would have expected it. We're just the type of guys that love getting on stage, and just like we played the bar circuit for a long time and slept in our car for a long time. Yeah, so I was legit. The fact that we're happy, the fact that we're here with people is great. Yeah, it's awesome.
All right, guys. Well, everyone loved it. Congratulations on a great show, and enjoy the rest of your tour, everything you're up to.
Okay.
Back to you guys.
Thank you, Brody. Yeah, their star has been rising, and lo and behold, the Red Blacks, who suffered so many injuries on defense on this night in the first half, see Avery Ellis, who had a great game last week, especially against the Saskatchewan Roughriders, the latest one down.
AC Leonard, another defensive end, went down early in this football game.
Jonathan Newsom, too.
Yes, and I mean, you're running out of bodies to play defensive end. We were talking to all three of these guys last night at dinner, and yeah, he's right here, 2-point stance. Look at that splits that Noel Thorpe has his guys playing in. Oh no, just a low block right on the shin or the knee. Noel Thorpe is not happy.
Avery Ellis down in the field. We get a tie game here at McMahon Stadium. We'll be back. Well, we just heard with Brody Lawson from the James Barker Band, and coming up July 5th in Regina, the Thursday Night Football concert series continues with Tim Hicks. And July 19th, the Beaches in Hamilton, Loud, Cardinal, Jazz Cartier, Chad Brownlee as well, and great halftime entertainment going on all summer long on a Thursday night. This is becoming a cooler Thursday night in this summer evening here in Calgary. The weather changing as it's wont to do around here. So they've had to make another change at defensive end. It's Tavares Daniels on the receiving end. Be curious to see how this affects their pressure on Beaulieu by Mitchell after a gain of 13, Matty. Nigel Romick is in now at end, and so too is Andrew Marshall. After the injuries to AC Leonard and Jonathan Newsom, and the latest one to Avery Ellis.
There's 3 defensive ends out here in this ball game with just 8 minutes gone in the third quarter, and you're looking at Nigel Romick from St. Mary's and Andrew Marshall from Simon Fraser filling in, getting a chance to strut their stuff.
1st and 10. After that catch, Don Jackson having a better second half, having a better run here. Cross midfield, late flag is down as he got right down about the 40, but looks like an illegal block coming up against Calgary.
After yards were gained, so it'll be a first down for Calgary on a nice run and effort play by Don Jackson. And
after yards are gained, holding Calgary number 89.
Can't get his, arm tackling Jackson there, and he just spins right out of that.
Foul occurred. The 4 yards.
Jackson just spun out of the arm tackle as Anton Pruneau, and he's off to the races. And then here comes the illegal block. Tough to see it there, but trust the officials for doing their job, taking them way back.
They initially said after yards gained, so I don't understand why the spot is pushing them back so far now.
I don't think they gave him that. I think they're saying now that it was before yards were gained.
They are not giving him the 21 yards. This goes back from the line of scrimmage and pushes the Stampeders back inside their 40.
I didn't hear an explanation there. What they said over the mic didn't fit what they did on the field. Regardless, it looks like it's 1st and 20.
Yeah, a difference of 31 yards, and now it's at the 38 of Calgary, negating a 21-yard gain by Don Jackson. Bo throwing, and he finds Kamar Jordan.
Picks up a little over half of that.
Gets a lot of it back up to the original line of scrimmage and a little bit more after a gain of 11 yards.
Somebody's going to be tossed here if they don't get their feelings under control. Got to walk away from that. It's a tough catch. Long arm, 6'3". Kamar just snags this because this ball's going to sail over his head if he doesn't. Jonathan Rose. Just a little love spat there.
Rose was another Ottawa defender that was injured and came back, as did Antoine Pruneau. Where they're hurting is at end in terms of depth right now. Deep ball down. And incomplete, intended there for Eric Rogers.
Yeah, running a post route, one-on-one, and just couldn't squeeze it. Ball was kind of laid right over the top of the second layer of the defense, and got a chance for it right there. It just slides right through his right arm onto the turf, and Tyndale's right there on top of him, making sure he can't corral that one.
So now we have a 3rd and 9 at the Calgary 49, a 7-7 game. When they met about a year ago at this time at McMahon, the final was 43-39, and that was a game that was off the rails, so many big plays. Much more conservative, much more defensive this time around. Rob Maver, case in point, he punted 6 times in the first half alone. Punting here a 42-yarder to Deontay Spencer. And weaving his way around, and not much doing, and a flag is down on the field as well after the return by Spencer. Former teammate of Ricky Ray, Trevor Harris, going back to work. We're going to hear more about him and the injury to Ray coming up. Five years ago with the Argos, Trevor Harris had teammates Ricky Ray and Zach Collaros, and they've had a very difficult week. More on this now from Jermaine Franklin.
Thanks, Rod. Not only were they teammates with the Argonauts in 2012 and 2013, they were very close friends as well. So you can imagine what was going through Trevor Harris's mind when he saw his friend Ricky Ray being stretchered off the field last week. He said, in his own words, he was beside himself and made every effort to get an update about his close friend as soon as possible. Now, Ray wasn't the only one to go down last week. Zach Collaros went down as well in a game against Harris and the Red Blacks due to a concussion. And according to Harris, neck injuries and concussions are bigger than football, and so is the friendship between the three of them. Harris, concerning Ricky Ray, said it doesn't matter if he plays another down of football. What's most important is that he gets a full recovery as a man, a father, and a husband, and he has similar wishes for Collaros as well.
Warm thoughts from Ricky Ray about, or excuse me, from Trevor Harris about Ray, and about Zach Collaros as well, who suffered the concussion last week in a game that that Harris was playing in. But I mean, well put. I mean, we look at Ricky Ray's situation. I mean, it isn't about him playing again. It's about him getting his health back.
No question. And nice job by Jermaine Franklin reporting on that. And that is exactly the way everybody feels. Life's more important. A lot more life to live. Ricky's got a couple of young, beautiful girls and beautiful wife. And take some time off.
Gain of 3 by William Powell to set up 2nd and 7. Pressure, they've got him. Down he goes. It's Jagarrett Davis with the sack of Trevor Harris.
Jagarrett Davis right at the top of the line here is going to come around the horn. Make it happen. Nice stutter step. Like Pac-Man eating up Harris unexpectedly. What a nasty dance too at the end.
And that means Leone has to punt from his end zone. He gets a beautiful punt away, though, that Williams is having trouble handling a 55-yard punt and no return at all, with Bolduc coming down hard on Terry Williams.
Skyscraper, starring Dwayne Johnson, in theaters July 13th.
Could have been a point in the game of a pivotal field position swing, and yet that was a very good punt by Leone deep in his end zone.
You know, we talk about how Ottawa is going through defensive ends. This team and their defensive coordinator have been having to plug and play players, and Jagarrett Davis is fielding in that spot. Bowders is fielding in that spot. It's just been next man up mentality for both these teams at that position.
Hitch off to Begelton there. And they do start at their 53, so Calgary does have excellent field position nonetheless. A gain of 4 for Mitchell and the Stamps.
7-7 game. Field position's everything right now. Doesn't seem like this thing's going to open up. Seems like defense is just locking down and making it tough on both these quarterbacks. Are certainly capable, got plenty of firepower on both sides of the offensive football, but defenses are having their way.
Calgary just 5 for 15 on 2nd down. A touchdown by Eric Rogers, 2 field goals by Lewis Ward for Ottawa, and a punt single by Richie Leone. There's your only scoring in this game in the 3rd quarter. 7-7, pressure on Mitchell, dumps it off to Jackson. First down, Calgary.
That's a matchup
flag
you like.
is down.
It's a matchup you like there. Kyrie Saber, middle linebacker, covering Don Jackson out of the backfield. Dump down.
Legal block hands to the face. Calgary number 61. It's a 10-yard penalty. It's still second down.
So penalty's been a factor in this game too, and Ucumbre Williams, the center for Calgary, is the latest one caught.
He's right here. Sometimes you just can't help it. You got to get that out of there. You see it right here. That's not gonna get you every time. That's all the umpires, excuse me, that's all the referees looking at right there.
Calgary's 10th penalty had his hand up in the face of Daryl Wadd, the Red Blacks. The ex-Argo, 2nd and 16.
Excuse me, that's umpire's call. He made an easy call on that one. Was that a time kill? No. Offside. Dickey
outside. Calgary number 88. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Yeah, you saw Dickey there. Head coach for the Stampeders, Dave Dickinson, had the play card in front of his mouth, already moving on to the next play. Sometimes you're 2-3 series ahead, maybe a quarter and a half ahead with play calling, and can't worry about what happened. You worry about stuff down the road, setting things up.
2nd and 21 now. And Mitchell fires in traffic. What a catch by Daniels, who took a hard hit by Kyrie Zaber afterwards and hung on to the football.
Oh my goodness. This takes some guts here, folks. Take some big cojones to make this happen. This is because you know this is coming. This window is closing in a hurry. He's coming right to left in that hole.
Unnecessary roughness. Ottawa.
Wow. Oh man, he came out of his shoes. He goes airborne, and that's illegal. You can't, that's just targeting. Look at that. That's just. I mean, I love Kyrie Zaber physicality. I love that, but he's coming with an elbow to his head, and he's going to be a little lighter in the wallet this week.
Gain at 23, and then the penalty day, Baron. Shades of when he was with Montreal a few years ago. Remember, he got John Cornish.
Right here.
Right down there at McMahon, and Cornish was out for a while after that when he got the arm up.
Yeah, came all the way across, and John cut back, and similar type of play, launched himself, and this is another look at it. This is what receivers have to contend with, and you're trying to make the game safer, and you want to take this play out of the game, launching yourself, using your helmet and your elbows, and missile right to the head of a guy trying to make a living. Daniels gives him a little taste, but credit to him, he hung on to the football.
1-yard run for Don Jackson, 2nd and 9 now, inside the 30. Calgary in business, though. Tie game, under pressure. Mitchell gets away, he dumps it off! No! Bobbled, juggled by Don Jackson, tiptoeing down the sideline, but he can't come up with it.
Oh, and I mean, what an effort by Bo, scrambling to his right, and this is a beautifully thrown football, just touches it right over the top of the shoulder of a well-covered Jackson. Roberson's all over him, and he still has a chance. Oh, that's Brown. That's a linebacker, Brown, on it. I mean, everybody's taking shots right now the last couple of plays. Oh my goodness. That's Andrew Marshall from Simon Fraser, 6-year player, 5 of the Red Blacks, making sure that Bo knows he's around.
So Rene Paredes was about to, at 36 yards, try a field goal, but a challenge flag coming out for Dave Dickinson now.
Roughing the passer. I'm challenging roughing the passer.
Calgary's challenging. There's roughing the passer on the last play. The play will be reviewed.
This is what Dickey's throwing the flag for.
With Andrew Marshall coming in.
I mean, a couple of years back, that's not a foul. Today's game,
contact to the head.
Yeah, and late. I mean, you know he's hungry, right? He just wants to get a piece of the action, and that's just a hair too late. We'll see what the officials have to say about it.
Andrew Marshall in his 6th year from Simon Fraser University and getting a chance to play, as we talked about before, because of all the injuries at defensive end for the Red Blacks tonight.
Bo felt like it was late. He immediately got up and was pointing to the referee saying, he hit me in the face. I felt that. tell you what, man, game's changed a lot, but for the better, trying to make it safer so that we keep these players healthy.
Yeah, the game's changing and the weather's changing. As the rain comes in now, it was a beautiful night at the start, but break out the Brellies.
Well,
so if this is indeed reversed and it's a penalty, it's a big one against Ottawa.
I thought it was a pretty easy one, but Rod, you mentioned a cooler night, and we felt that front come through, and here comes the rain right behind it.
Temperatures drop, rain's coming down.
I'll make it interesting here. Wouldn't be a Thursday night without rain.
This would be the second big...
After review, roughing the passer, Ottawa number 90. Half the distance to goal, and an automatic first down.
So they do reverse it. It's a penalty against Ottawa. I was just about to say, second big penalty going against the Red Blacks on this drive now. And Calgary in a tie game, they were going to look at a field goal, but they could be looking at more than that now.
Well, you remember Calgary went back on an illegal block after a big pickup by Jackson, and they picked up half of it, and then the throw, and then the penalty to Kyrie Saber, and then you tack that one on, and that was a good challenge by Dave Dickinson. You saw Rick Campbell's reaction. He's not thinking he's such a good dude now.
So it's at the 15-yard line, 1st and 10, tie football game, but Calgary is pressing. A drive aided and abetted by penalties. Well, what happens now?
Murray Clark's got a little something going on in the back end. Wants to talk about it. Reset the clock. That's all they're going to do. Murray's job back there, just like a quarterback. He's watching those 20-second clock, and if it's not rung in properly, he'll stop playing like he did there.
To 123. 123.
Getting it right. Nice job, Murray.
So adding 19 seconds in a quarter where there's only been 1 point scored. It was 7-6 Calgary at the half. 7-7 game, but the Stamps threatening to add to that total now. They get the clock straightened out for Mitchell in the rain. Stampeders. It's touched at the line. It falls incomplete. Rico Murray was the closest to it, and once again, a big defensive play. We've seen a lot of those in this game.
That was a massive defensive play. I believe it was an interior defensive lineman. I'm trying to figure out who it was. Well, it was Wakefield or Clausen got his hand up and batted that ball. Otherwise, Bo's got the drag underneath again, a play that I showed you in the first half.
Daryl Watt.
Nice play by Daryl Watt making that. I mean, that's a stop. That's huge right there, 4th and 7 long.
Former Argo from Western. Marshall coming into the middle to charge Mitchell again. That one falls incomplete, and we're back to Rene Paredes coming out in a field goal situation, Calgary.
Yeah, right to left. You're going to have a dig or a cross, a 7 route. Call it what you want. Bo's going to try to get it in there. You see a little stunt there, and the DB again has incredible impact on that play, and this is the Wad play, getting his hands up. Look at 93. That tip right there. Otherwise, that's a walk-in touchdown because he's got leverage on the linebackers. Noel Thornton knows that that's huge, holding this offense to possible 3.
So Paredes lined up before for a 36, and then they had the penalty to keep the drive going. This one from 22 for Rene Paredes, and his first field goal of this low-scoring football game to give Calgary the lead, 10-7. Rene Paredes giving Calgary the lead again, 7 for 7 on the year, and 16 straight. We have seen remarkable consistency by Rene Paredes in his career.
I love watching him kick. I love watching Rob Maver punt. The deep snappers making it happen. It's a battery there, and when they're on, it is fun to watch. It's effortless.
Play action fake to William Powell, and he's chucking it deep. Trevor Harris for Greg Ellingson. Greg Ellingson has it inside the Calgary 20, and just like that, Ottawa's back in scoring position.
And he just kind of undercuts Adam Berger, who's got him covered over the top, and Trevor just heaves it, and Berger's in great position. He just kind of keeps drifting, and Ellenson undercuts him and goes to the ball and makes a big play. 4 of those last week by Trevor Harris, over 20 yards. One of them was to Ellenson. Why not again?
Back to William Powell now, grinding his way down to the 10 and more inside the 5. It'll be 1st and goal, Red Blacks, and another big run at the final play of the 3rd quarter for William Powell, as Ottawa will start the 4th with a chance to at least tie, perhaps take the lead. On the Brick, Thursday Night Football, McMahon Stadium in Calgary. We've got a game.
These stars are falling like confetti, so wish on one. Singing long live the night.
Through 3 quarters in Calgary, the Red Blacks now threatening, but look at the numbers with just 4 points scored in that 3rd quarter. And Matty, lots of penalties. We saw a lot work against Ottawa in Calgary's last possession when they took the lead.
Yeah, and you just look what the Stampeders are doing defensively, holding the opposition to just scoring 2 touchdowns over the course of the season already. But the Red Blacks with a response drive of their own after the Stampeders put the ball in the end zone or got a field goal. It was absolutely. And watching Trevor Harris work and throw that long ball to Ellenson was a thing of beauty. You watch his feet work, and is actually pretty mesmerizing watching him work in the pocket and heave one to Ellenson. Absolutely fun to watch. Watch him step up here. Bang. 1, 2, 3. Heave it. I like it. I like it a lot.
Here we go at the Calgary 4. 1st and goal. Trevor Harris, Red Blacks trying to retake the lead, faking to Galanders, end zone look, and it's too far. The intended receiver was Brad Sinopoli, 2nd and goal.
Yeah, it's his third choice there. He wanted the flat, and he's coming over here, sticking on the back. Calgary had it played perfectly. He went to the corner route, not there, and then he had the over route on the back end of the end zone, and slide to his left, couldn't place it where he wanted to, just off just a little bit.
They could tie this game up again with a field goal, but that's not what they're thinking.
They need this here.
They want that end zone.
Yeah, they do.
They haven't been in the end zone tonight. Powell faking to him, wide receiver open there, but does Spencer get in? No. So this sets up an interesting decision.
Deontay Evans made a nice short tackle there. You think the running back's going to be able to turn it up, maybe knife in there. Puts it on him, little low. Oh, that's Deontay Spencer. He gets lifted up and denied at the goal line. Not today. Now what are they going to do?
They're going. They're going.
You got to think game right here. You got to have this.
On the keeper's Dominic Davis. Does he break the plane of the goal line? No signal. They're saying no. J.C. Beaulieu thinks that they did, of course, but no.
I think he got stymied.
Davis in for short yardage. There's another Davis, Jagarrett.
Well, you know they're just going to submarine in the pit there. Watch them low. Watch them all just submarine down here and try to cut the legs of the offensive linemen so they can't get any momentum. Coming over the top is Singleton. Just a mass of humanity right there, just tangled and mangled all together. And you just kind of look, and Dominic is trying to get there. Little lunge by him, a second effort. Officials say no, sir.
It's the Red Blacks' 2nd turnover on downs, their 3rd turnover of this game. The first was a pick by Micah Johnson that set up Calgary for the only touchdown of this game. And then this one denies Ottawa a chance to take the lead, and they come up empty-handed. 1st and 10 right near the goal line for the Calgary Stampeders, but they still lead it by 3. And Mitchell throwing from his end zone to buy some room. Tavares Daniels. What a big play, Calgary, to get themselves out of a deep hole.
Yeah, this couldn't have been thrown any better. Bo Levi answering, getting him out of his own hand. You watch him. He's gonna run right by him, and ball's in the air. Perfectly timed throw. I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. Little stutter step there. Deep balls, just like any other pass, it's all about timing. Ball's thrown extremely well, and DeMars Daniels comes up with a big play.
Gain of 35. He's up to 91 yards receiving now.
From 1-1 to the 36.
Don Jackson.
Yeah.
Short gain.
You know, I said before, I love watching this guy do his thing. Alex Singleton, 123 tackles here. Watch him jump over the pile here. Just want to get some. Just barely missed him. Laying on him, trying to squash him down to the turf so he can't use his momentum going forward. Had to meet his mother, Kim, sisters, Melissa,
and Ashley, too,
and
right?
Ashley, yes. Saw them in the airport on Tuesday.
Ball's dropped there by Rogers. The fourth tackle by Singleton, by the way, on that big one on Dominic Davis, but incomplete there after a short gain. So they do, at the very least, though, after the big stand, Singleton helping out with that. They had the big play to Daniels to at least improve their field position. So,
I mean, this guy brings everything to the table. Checks off all the boxes. He's animated. He's young, he's athletic, he loves his family, his sister like no other, and did a great feature on them last year. And MOP, reigning most outstanding defensive player of the year, Alex Singleton bringing it once again.
He was Calgary's nominee for top Canadian, most outstanding defensive player, and MOP. Stampeders thought that highly of Alex Singleton, and it's Deontay Spencer on the return up over the 30 for the Red Black. So they had a chance for a touchdown. They got the ball again. The way of this guy, preventing it from happening. Alex Singleton with a big defensive play in this game. Stampeders still on top by 3. Celebrate the Canada Day long weekend with a fresh 6-pack of the hit Crave TV series Letterkenny. New episode streamed Friday, June 29th, only on Crave TV. Back here in Calgary, and the Stampeders still lead 10-7. Big goal line stand. Alex Singleton and company keeping the Red Blacks from taking the lead. Punting it away. Ottawa football now. Inside the 35 for Trevor Harris.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great stop by the Red Blacks defense there, making things happen. Got to have that one, Trevor.
Intended there for Sinopoli. And a big night for William Powell. He had one last week against Saskatchewan with a couple of touchdowns. Great on the ground in this night, Matty.
Running crazy. Just like joystick type of stuff out there, making people miss. And he's been the beneficiary for some solid blocking up front from them big boys. Got to let them eat on a night like this. Control that line of scrimmage here in the fourth quarter and churn this out.
Averaging a tidy 9.9 yards a carry is William Powell. Boy, they've needed him to stay in this game.
Nope.
And Trevor Harris is down. He is sacked for the 3rd time in this game. Derek Wiggin.
That's just right up the middle. Just said no. I'm taking you back into the pile. I'm taking you back into Seven's lap. Just absolutely collapses, getting leverage on the left guard, and watch him slide right here. He's right here. No, sorry, he's right there. Second arrow, folks. Stay with me. Just driving back in the pile. Eat him up.
Had a sack and a forced fumble last week against the Argonauts. 4th-year product of Queens, Wiggins. There's a big return coming up now for Williams. Terry Williams busts one loose. And the Stampeders in business. A 45-yard return after a 46-yard punt. Terry Williams. He returned one for a touchdown last week in Toronto. He nearly busts another. Calgary with the lead and the ball in Ottawa territory. Fans in the stands at McMahon enduring some rain, but getting to see the home team looking to pad its lead now with the ball in Ottawa territory and a 3-point lead. On the Brick Thursday Night Football here on TSN. And a good start this season. The Stampeders trying to go to 3-0, already 2-0 for the first time since 2014. So after a big punt return, 45-yarder by Terry Williams, Calgary in business, the Ottawa 37. And taking that handoff is Don Jackson. He's had a pretty busy night as well, coming in as the leading rusher in the Canadian Football League.
Yeah, and this is Terry Williams doing his thing 2 weeks in a row, and he gets some help from his teammates. And you watch Charlie Power, 6-year player from Saskatchewan. He's right here, and you watch the alley open up right through here. Charlie Power lays off a block. It easily could have been a block in the back, but he knows better. He lays up, lets Williams do his thing, instant field position.
6-year man out of Saskatchewan. Great special teams player, too, is Charlie Power. Bo Levi Mitchell deep. He's got a man and a touchdown. Kamar Jordan.
And that's just complimentary football.
That's something to cheer about, isn't it? Fans at McMahon loving that. As Jordan finds the end zone, courtesy the toss by Bo Levi Mitchell.
That's just tough to defend when you got so many weapons on the field. Pruneau looked like he was in chase and trying to get back into the mix and just couldn't, as Kamar Jordan outflanked and was over the top, and Bo laid it in there nicely.
And Perez is 6 for 6 now, and point after, 7 for 7. A couple of touchdowns tonight. And now they're up suddenly by 10 when it looked like it could have been going the other way just a few short minutes ago to start the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and he's right here. He's going to slide out here, right down this seam here. And you watch Pruneau trying to give chase. There he is right there. Pruneau is kind of outflanked, takes a bad angle, finds that soft spot in between the low man and the high man, and Bo feathers it in there nicely. That's a tough catch, because Rico Murray was coming over to lay some hat. Almost jarred that ball out.
Well, Stampeders doing a better job of moving the football now after only 132 yards net offense in the first half. Yeah, more like it for Bo Levi Mitchell. A couple of touchdown passes in this game in the first half to Eric Rogers, but that is the biggest offensive play for Calgary in that touchdown for Jordan.
We got more to go.
How you think about it, it was a sack by the defense, and then it was a big return and a smart play by Charlie Power, enabling instant field position, and then Bo Levi Mitchell goes to work with Kamar Jordan, and they got a 10-point lead.
It was set up by a big special teams play. How about now, Deontay Spencer? He had a punt return for a touchdown against Calgary here at McMahon a year ago, and he gets that one out to the 25, but yeah.
Backs against the wall.
It is now as we approach the midway point of the fourth quarter, and for Trevor Harris.
This is the fun part, though, when you're a quarterback and well, you just hunker down and you're just laser sharp on your focus. And I know that Devon Claybrook is having a blast calling this game, and not so much on the other side. Offensive coordinator Jamie Elizondo trying to figure this Calgary defense out.
They had a big play, Harris to Ellingson at the end of the third quarter. They need something big to happen now. Faking to William Powell and dumping it off to Austin Hartley, the product of the University of Calgary. Played at this stadium many times before, and that gain on first down. Patrick Levels in there, getting the start at Sam linebacker because of injuries to.
And also because you can cover, right? Because he's a DB playing Sam linebacker. He covers those guys out of the backfield, makes it look easy.
It was Tunda Delicate, the starting safety that got hurt in practice, and so they put
earlier in the week
Adam Berger back at free, and then that's why Levels is in playing Sam. On the receiving end, and it looked like he was down, but Levels has it on the fumble by Sinopoli, and is finally ridden down hard by Dominic Rhymes.
Yeah, Dominic looks like he head tackles him. Is he down or not? Let's check this. Brad Sinopoli's sure hands. We know he's outstanding in these situations, in second down situations.
Singleton in again. And was he down before the ball was out? That looks very close.
Look at this, and one hit, like Thurman, and then here comes Singleton, of course.
Just as he takes a seat, you see the ball just starting to fall out.
The previous play is under review by the Cannon Center.
So Thurman, who's a beast, just breaks his left side of his ribs, and then here comes Singleton. That almost looked like a helmet to helmet right there.
Very close.
Because he led with this helmet and he's second man in. You know, that's something to look at right there. And ball, I can't tell you right there. You make up your own mind, folks. Why they get paid the big bucks in the command center. Brad Sinopoli, got to love his story. Started here in Calgary as a quarterback, converted him over to receiver. God love him for having the ability to make that happen.
The ruling on the field stands. First down, Calgary.
So it's ruled a fumble, and Levels picking it up. They say it was coming out before his seat hit the turf. So
credit Thurman and Singleton coming in there late, sealing the deal and coughing that up. Another big turnover. Another big play defensively for the Calgary Stampeders here late.
Deciding that the replay wasn't conclusive enough to overturn. So Jameer Thurman, a big play there. And this game, all the momentum is swinging to the home side now as they're looking for more. Looking for Jordan again, who just got a touchdown catch, and the coverage there from Josh Johnson.
Yeah, I just want to look at Alex Singleton too and what he does on this play and how he gets there and how he arrives. He sees a man cross his face, he sees the ball thrown, now he gets there and that's tight. I don't think that was, oh, he's talking noise.
Come, love you guys. Dad, Matt, everybody at home, Grandma, Grandpa, love you guys.
I mean, come on. How do you not love that?
Alex Singleton, one of the big personalities in the game today, and a star in his own right for sure, is Don Jackson. It's a gain of 5 as they get closer to that Ottawa end zone again, and a low-scoring game, Matty, finally starting to open up Calgary's way.
It's because Calgary is playing well as a football team here in the last 30 minutes. Defense creating havoc for the Red Blacks offense, sacking quarterback Trevor Harris, coming up with turnover, special teams delivering good field position, Bo taking advantage.
Jackson, touchdown, Stampeders. Don Jackson takes it in.
Yeah, you see them there. This is like a watermelon seed. Just squirting out through that hole. There goes quick 6, and there goes Don Jackson. Breaking tackles, finding the end zone. Would not be denied. Well, it's been all Calgary here in the fourth quarter. Turnovers and field position, special teams, good defense, and Bo Levi's caught fire a little bit with Kamar Jordan. So it is what it is, folks. They're flexing their muscles here in their own backyard, and once again, looks like the Red Blacks are falling short here at McMahon Stadium.
You start to think of an adage, the more things change, the more they stay the same. There's been a lot of change for this Calgary team, but look at them. 2 minutes away from improving to 3-0. Thanks in part to that man, Jackson. Touchdown Calgary. Bo Levi Mitchell approves. Thursday Night Football on TSN is presented by The Brick, saving you more.
You already know, man. Stats, man, we here to stay. Lucy, baby, I love you. Mama, I love you. Daddy, I love you. I know it's good. You tough.
Don Jackson, his first year out of Nevada, the touchdown that looks like it's going to put this thing away. 2 touchdowns by the Stamps in a little over 3 minutes, and they're in control in this game now, 24-7. As that kickoff by Paredes draws a flag as he hits it out of bounds.
Calgary number 30. First down Ottawa at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, look at the touchdown. Beneficiary right there. Jackson is good work. Watch. Ottawa is going to run a stunt. They're going to run themselves right out of this. And then watch Erdos come over here and block this. I'll erase that, and you watch the hole open up right through here. This is amazing. There's the stunt. There's Erdos just taking Kyrie's out, and there's the hole. Bang. Hit it. Walk in. Break a tackle. Smell it. Feel it. Get there. He does. Don Jackson making it happen. Not without the big boys' help up front, though.
Quick assist didn't get much of a workout in the first half, but it's been busier now. Dominic Davis in at quarterback, in for Trevor Harris, and completes one to Brad Sinopoli.
Dominic Davis, East Carolina. He's drawn in here late. He's happy to get some PT.
In his career,
he's only thrown 54 passes.
33 of 54 for Davis. He got some action in the preseason after Trevor Harris got hurt in the first preseason game against the Alouettes, so he played a lot of that game. And of course, if you recognize the name, he was with Winnipeg for a couple of seasons.
Yeah, he was. They're trying to groom him, and they moved on. And he was happy to come to Ottawa. Had a good preseason this year, and he's had one start in his career. Very mobile quarterback, strong arm. Fits Danny Elizondo's system nicely. Gonna get a look at him here in the last few minutes of this ball game.
More of a frustrating night for Trevor Harris. Just the end of the third at a big play to Greg Ellingson, but there were some drops early as well. And just a tough night in general for the Red Blacks QB compared to last week when just about everything went really well against the Saskatchewan Roughriders when they went to 1-0. So William Powell on that carry, but Red Blacks about to fall to 1-1 to start the season. Barring an 18-point comeback here led by Dominic Davis, 4:13 on the clock. Not impossible by CFL standards. Unlikely as it seems. Sinopoli and takes that out of bounds. Calgary territory at the 35.
You know, we try to protect our starting quarterbacks in this league, and we got to protect everybody. You know, we've seen a couple of shots here that probably going to make some wallets lighter throughout the week. These things are reviewed. The CFL offices by some late hits and some ugly hits, and just saw one on Dominic Davis at the beginning of this series. I didn't like it all.
Gain of 6 and then pass to Sinopoli. Davis throwing again. Hartley on the receiving end, which would be it's a first down for Ottawa.
Yeah, and you're going to watch this here, and Ja'Gared Davis is going to come over after he's handed the ball off, and it's like, what is that? I know folks, you're probably saying, well, he doesn't know he has the ball. I don't care. It's like, that's a late hit on one of your future stars, potentially future star in this league. Protect them all.
Struggling with that shotgun snap is Davis, but quickly gets it away into the end zone. Oh, nearly Ellingson. He was being covered by Deontay Evans. He had a chance for an Ottawa touchdown there.
Yeah, he did. And I mean, Dominic had a hard time securing the snap, and once he finally got it, kind of rushed his delivery.
Ottawa.
Ellingson tried to body it, which is interesting. And it's probably because of the conditions and the wet ball and conditions here. Typically, you'd see him go high point it with his hands, but he tries to body it. I know Milton's probably going crazy, and Jock in the studio going, what are you doing? But I think the conditions had more to do with it than anything else. Big chance and opportunity there for the Red Blacks to get right back in this.
So Rick Campbell calling his last timeout. 3:12, down by 17 in Calgary's zone, inside the 30. Certainly needing a quick touchdown here to entertain any hope at all of coming back in this football game.
3-down territory here, Rob.
Absolutely.
You know, you don't have to get it all. That's PI.
Flag does come out on the coverage. Evans there, so is Singleton on Greg Ellingson, but yeah, it'll be a first down, Red Blacks.
It's an easy call.
Pass interference, Calgary, number 0. It's a 10-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
I guarantee you Ellingson knew that Singleton was coming inside out. Happy that he got hit a little early. Draw that penalty. Saved him some hours in the cold whirlpool this week.
Ottawa's 0 for 2 in the red zone tonight. Of course, the memorable one, the goal line stand by Calgary.
That was a game changer right there.
Total game changer. Fake to William Powell.
Oh,
Davis look at end zone again. Oh my goodness. That looked like a sure touchdown for Ottawa and Deontay Spencer.
That's clear indication of just how wet that ball is out there, but it couldn't have been placed any more perfectly. Dominic Davis putting it behind the 8-5. Deontay can't squeeze it. Oh.
In and out. Deontay Spencer's hands. That kind of night in Calgary for the Ottawa Red Blacks. Here's the rest of the schedule for Week 3, all on TSN. Live mics, and that's debuting this season with Winnipeg at Hamilton. Friday Night Football, a doubleheader. And you got the Tiger Cats. That's a good matchup. Both teams looked great last week. BC Lions against the Edmonton Eskimos. That'll be the late game starting at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific time. And then Montreal at Saskatchewan on Saturday in TSN. And another drop in the rain. JC Beaulieu can't hang on. And the most
looks like illegal contact, Rod, on a receiver.
Flag down, but we had another drop in the end zone with Deontay Spencer before.
Yeah, it's just conditions are, I think, dictating.
Legal contact on a receiver. Calgary number 0. Half a distance to the goal. It's first down.
I think they're dictating the sloppy conditions in play right now. This is Deontay Spencer on a corner route, and Dominic throws an unbelievable ball in these conditions. Puts it right on the 8 and 5, and he can't squeeze it. Look at it. That'll hurt tomorrow in video review. Sitting there with meetings.
Well,
Thomas got a chance here.
They still press at the 10, and it's first and goal after the penalty, and he looks into the end zone again. And this one is caught for a touchdown. And this one, for a while, looked less likely. They finally do haul it in to get a little bit closer anyway with 2:32 in the clock, but Davis had taken a lot of chucks into the end zone, and this one finally does pay off into the hands of Greg Ellingson.
Oh, man, I can't believe he goes and gets that. That's just, I mean, you talk about throwing up your back foot. Nowhere near where he wanted to throw it, but he gave Ellingson a chance, and he makes another crazy catch in the end zone with just 2:32 left on the clock. Convert here makes it a 10-point game. You never know in the Canadian Football League. I think stranger things have happened. And the way that Dominic's slinging it and his arm strength and his playmaking ability, he's giving his guys a chance.
There's an injured player. It looks like Deontay Evans down in the end zone. It was involved in the coverage of Greg Ellingson on that Ottawa touchdown. So
I think he just loses his footing as he's spinning around. Watch him. Right there. He loses his footing. Oh, and it looks like I don't know. I think he's just disappointed. Looks like it could be a shoulder.
very slick conditions now with the rain coming down here at McMahon.
Look at his left leg. You can't believe Ellingson caught that ball. This is not good.
There were two previous passes into the end zone to Spencer when Ellingson had a shot at a touchdown earlier too, and not a good sign there for Deontay Evans, one of the great talents in the secondary. He missed the opening game as well against Hamilton. Came back last week against the Argos and now injured and heading off. So Lewis Ward is the kicker, is on for Ottawa to kick the one and make it a 10-point game. 24-13 it stands, 2:32 in the clock. It's again a long road ahead for the Red Blacks. Stranger things have happened, especially in conditions like this as he puts it through, and it is a 10-point game, but they need that ball back right away.
Yeah, I mean, turnover with these conditions, anything can happen. You know, they're going to, ball security is going to be paramount for Stamps, but you know they're going to be ball hawking on the other side trying to rip it out. So this is the shot that Davis takes from Wouters coming on the body of the screen. Watch him. He just basically just goes around the corner untouched, unscathed to him, and dips his shoulder and then whap. And he's grabbing his abdomen area there and kind of got the wind knocked out of him, I think. And I think at the end of the day, jogs off the field knowing he just threw a touchdown pass and got his team back in at 10-point down.
Well, if nothing else, Rick Campbell giving his backup quarterback some reps, leading on a touchdown drive after taking Trevor Harris out of the game in these conditions. And
looks like the hands team is out there for sure. You got Sinopoli and Ellingson, so you got special teams working some magic here, trying to get the ball back with a little onside kick here, see if they can execute it.
Got to get it back. It's Richie Leone, the kicker, handling the kickoff duties, and As Matty said, the hands team's out. And the parent play coming up to the right, puts it up high and very deep relative for a short kick, and it's just handled there easily by the Stampeders and Kamar Jordan. So yeah, I didn't quite understand the strategy, although in the rain, not exactly putting it where he wanted to, I'm sure.
I don't know how those guys do it anyway. Their chip shot, they make that look really easy. And
it's the longest short kick though I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, and I don't think he meant to kick it that far.
No.
Give him the benefit of the doubt. These conditions, it's pretty ugly.
We're coming down, and how slick it is, and we saw that with Deontay Evans and planting it. So absolutely. So just control that football. That's what the Stampeders aim to do. Don Jackson, he had a touchdown earlier in this game to help apparently cement this football game. And
Rod, if you check this out, this is pretty good head coach quarterback combination in tandem here. Best TD interception ratio all time. Dave Dickinson was absolutely insane. That's just crazy. And Bo is right there on his heels. No wonder all he does is win, because that's all his coach did as well.
It's remarkable.
Touchdowns and very few interceptions.
Now Bo's not in the completion percentage, and wow, another solid run there by Don Jackson. I was just going to say though that Dave Dickinson, the success he's had as a player and what he's having as a coach as well, is that much more remarkable.
Yeah, it is. And the support he gets from John Hufnagel and how coaches are sticking around. I mean, it's proof in the pudding right there when Devon Claybrooks, one of the most sought after coaches this past offseason, says, no, I'm just going to stick around right here. I know where my bread is buttered.
Dave Dickinson was the fastest coach. It tied the record for 30 wins in only 36 games, I believe.
38.
Or 38 games, excuse me.
Yeah. And, tied with Frank Ivy.
Frank Pop Ivy of the Edmonton Eskimos back in the mid-50s. Only had 4 seasons Pop Ivy did with the Eskimo teams. They won 3 Grey Cups. He had a record of 50-14 ultimately, but look at that. Dave Dickinson and Pop Ivy in 38 games, winning 30. The first 38 of their head coaching career, and now 31-6-2 if we can count this as a W tonight.
Yeah, you can. And, after Matthews, throwing John Hufnagel at 44, Hugh Campbell at 45, and Wally Buono did it in 47. So Dave's up there with some elite company at top of the heap along with Frank Ivy.
His coaching tenure has just been absolutely remarkable, and you hate to bring it up, but it is true. The one elephant in the room are the Grey Cups. I mean, he has them as a player, he has them as an assistant, he doesn't as a head coach, and he was favored 2 years ago and last year as well, and that's the one thing. But they know that, they know people are going to bring it up, and they're back to work to get back to the big game again this year, and they sure look good.
That's luggage they carry around. I like to say it's a lunch pail they carry around, because they know they got to get back to work, and they got to give themselves a chance to go back there for a third year in a row and right or wrong. And it's a reality, and it will follow them around until they give themselves a third chance in a row to make it happen.
Well, they have been great in the last couple of years, and all they can do in 2018 is be great again, and then when the time comes, see if they can win the Grey Cup this time around. Of course, there are a lot of teams that have something to say this early, but they look good heading into 3-0 now.
I don't understand why Bo's still out here in the football field. Arbuckle, great opportunity for him to get out there, just get a feel for the game. He had 4 completions last week in the blowout at BMO against Toronto, and crazier things have happened. Get him out of there. We've seen too many people go down tonight.
Bo stays in, hands off, it's fumbled. The Red Blacks have it. It's like Nigel Romick on the fumble there by Don Jackson. So Romick getting a lot more playing time with the injury to defensive ends Avery Ellis and A.C. Leonard and Jonathan Newsom. Stripped of the ball there by Lucius Purifoy.
Yeah, Purifoy just came like he was shot out of a cannon on the offside of the play and stripped that ball. And his speed, he showed his speed there. A timely play, but just too late with 18 seconds left on the clock, down by 10. Lucius Purifoy making it happen. refusing to give up.
Academic now, 24-14, and that's it. Dominic Davis still in, but there you go. The Nissan Titan Player of the Game, brought to you by the Nissan Titan, official vehicle of the CFL. Who you got, Matty?
Yeah, it's Alex Singleton. This is for you, Kim, Ashley, Melissa, and Steve. Alex's father, he went out there and put on a show once again. Showed you why he's the reigning Defensive Player of the Year. He wreaks some havoc, and when he arrives with some nastiness and checking off all the boxes. Alex Singleton, Nissan Titan Player of the Game.
Well, it's a long road for the Calgary Stampeders to get back to where they were, but it's an awfully good start. The Stamps, first time since 2014, off to a 3-0 start after they defeat the Ottawa Red Blacks thanks to a very good second half. Thank you for watching Brick Thursday Night Football on TSN. Don't forget Friday Night Football tomorrow. We now head off to SportsCenter on TSN.